This meeting.
Okay, thank you and welcome everyone. We're going to start the second half of our committee tonight, the Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting, Tuesday, April 26th, 2022 at 6 p.m. We've already done the Pledge of Allegiance at the Athletic Committee meeting. As promised, we wanted to provide our viewing public and our school board with an update on the Gateway Middle School renovation project. We are currently almost 11 months.
We're in the 11th month.
11th month of the project. And I had Mr. Brown, Mike O'Brown, do a video drone flyover, very similar to what we presented several months ago to allow our viewing public and the board to see what's being done on not only the front side facing Route 48, but also a lot of the work that the viewing public is not able to see on the backside of Gateway Middle School. With us tonight, we have our familiar faces who have been the individuals behind the scenes, both Doug and Hank, former construction manager and the architect for the project. I'm going to spend a few moments. Perhaps I could turn it over to Doug, Hank, if you want to just highlight what we have up there on the board, and then we'll go through the video drone flyover if you want to provide some input on what we're looking at and essentially what it will look like.
What it will look like is a little hard to what we're looking at now. I mean, if anybody's not sure. Haymaker, Old William Penn. The auditorium is a good reference point because that's going to stay outside as is. What you see here is stockpile. Along the bottom here, in this area, you see it, I don't know if you can see it from back there, but there's a trench we started here. There's additions that are going on here for the band and chorus. And here is going to be the Cafeteria Kitchen going out into this area as well, the old cafeteria.
Yeah, that area right there that Doug highlighted was the old cafeteria.
Right here.
On the other side of that hallway was the tech ed area. That is no longer.
This kind of dark area, that's the subgrade we just ripped off the slab that was there for the tech ed. That's going to be where the auxiliary gym is. But that auxiliary gym is going to stretch from this corridor that we're keeping bits of, running all the way over to here to this corridor that we're also going to tear the roof off and raise. We've also tear the canopy down. So you'll have auxiliary gym, probably blocking some people, but auxiliary gym, existing main gym. Now, challenges we have going on right now, you can see right here, it's existing transformer. That's Duquesne Lights power transformer. Power comes in from the street down here, comes along the parking lot, and into here. What we're going to do, I don't know, Micah, if you have.
Do you want to start the video, Micah, so we can maybe get the side? Doug, you want to highlight the area behind that gym area?
Yeah, that's what if we could kind of get to Micah.
Yeah.
Going to rotate it about 180. This will hold it right there, Micah. Might as well just since you're going that way. We'll go around this way. But what I want to point out, for this transformer here, we'll talk about Duquesne Light. We dug the trench right here for the addition to the band room, chorus room, and the duct bank for that power transformer is right in the footprint of the footing. It's not crossing it, doesn't get work around, it's parallel to it and inside it. So that's held us up for the time being right down there. What's going on up here, this is the old, this spray slide right there. That's the old admin. What we've done is we bumped out for the new admin right in here. This slot right there is a corridor, existing corridor. We took the roof off. That is staying in place as a corridor. Then these two slabs are classrooms on this side, and then the media center is being, this wall, exterior wall is coming out, and it's going to grow this way. So right now what we're doing is finishing up the slab here to finish up the admin area. Hopefully this week, I'm expecting tomorrow possibly. We'll have steel going up for these two. There'll be columns and beams to frame that up, and then steel studs to frame the exterior walls. Actually, you can see it right here. This is the steel. Okay, go ahead, Mike, up. Down here around the flagpoles where the masons, keep on going, where the masons are set up to mix the mortar throughout the project.
See the,
Sheep's foot compactor rolling and the bulldozer. Yeah, go hold up there, Mike, up. Okay, so what we've done, got the footings in there. This is access, they're gonna close off pretty soon. And we've got footings going down here for this classroom. This is gonna be the called B classroom wing. This is B admin, B classroom. Then you can see, hopefully you can see back there, footings for the D classroom wing. Then we still have F and J to put in. What they're doing right now along in here is building this area up, because right now it's a very steep slope going down toward Haymaker. So we're gonna build it up somewhere up here, and then the retaining wall is done and it's over here. So, go ahead, Micah. These are the pieces of the tank that we had. You can see part of it right there. Underground water storage tank that was found that was not expected. And it kind of interfered with the project. So we had to take it out up in here so we could build the J addition.
They will go, the other two additions are gonna be.
to the left of those two at the bottom.
Go down as
Yes.
far as the other two.
J. There'll be a sidewalk coming straight along here, connecting all four of them.
Okay.
You want to stop it there, Micah?
Just a different angle on things. And what Hank has is with all these, like right in here, these windows have no function anymore. A lot of them are being infilled, but he's also opening up over here and then coming along in here. That'll be roughly right here and then over here.
So those wings, they'll be tied in through those windows there.
Yeah, so some of those windows will be filled in with wall material, but there'll be a portal going here, and Hank, is it this corridor?
Yep.
Takes you in. So there'll be another portal, or exactly, maybe it's right here, then another one right here. And that's where it takes you from the main corridor that still runs along here in the middle, through the classrooms on each side, out to the new additions.
Where is the cafeteria from?
The new cafeteria,
Yes. Okay,
right here.
all right.
You want to continue rotating around, Micah? So at the bottom is Route 48 that you would see Gateway Middle School on your left.
We kind of missed, just he didn't have to
Yeah.
fly that way. But right down here is where the Duquesne Light News Service is coming in, up along roughly the property line with PennDOT. This new pole is a terminal pole. Right there. And hold on, Micah. So that terminal pole over here, and there's conduit that connects to the transformer. It's over here. This is a generator pad. And that's where we're having our challenges with Duquesne Light. This is, Hank and his engineers took care of this a year or 2 years ago, whatever it was exactly, during design. What was needed, where it was going to go, what it was. A year after construction started almost, and we're still struggling to get Duquesne Light to finish their work. The significance of that is that, one, the old duct bank carrying the conduit, the fiber, the cables to the transformer is physically in the way of our work.
And we can't take that out because it's supplying power to the building now until we get the new power in.
Yeah. So the plan has always been, get this new service in, back in here, right in here, is the electrical room. That's been done for months. All the switch gear, and the panels throughout the building are done. The feeder is going from this main switch gear, main distribution panel actually, to all of the panels locally in the building. That's all done. It's ready to be energized.
So what is the problem with Duquesne Light? They don't have the manpower, or they just,
They don't
And I
have.
think the right hand knows what the left hand's doing, and
It's not a manpower thing. You see them doing work and they've got 10 guys doing what probably 4 can do. They're a monopoly that is not motivated to hurry up and help you out. That's the way to put it. It's a challenge. I've had this challenge in every job. So anyway, so as soon as we get that done, we can disconnect service there, transfer power to the new, from the new service to the new wiring and panels throughout the building for construction power. And that's the case. We can't just shut it down, then we're gonna have no power for the tools. Go ahead, Micah. So now we're starting to get a different perspective on the same thing. This is the corridor that's gonna stay in for the gyms. The old gym, the new gym.
So if you could stop it right there, Micah. Hank, do you maybe want to explain how the auxiliary gym will then be right across the hall from?
Sure. You can
Cafeteria.
see just a little bit, you can catch just the edge of the existing gym here. The existing gym is out this way. This is the corridor that you access the existing gym from. The new gym gets built right here, so this same corridor serves both the existing gym and the new gym. And then there's a corridor that's here that will serve the new gym and the new cafeteria. So you'll have cafeteria, corridor, new gym, corridor, old gym.
Then everything would connect with a corridor over by the auditorium.
Right, so there's a corridor that comes across here and goes all the way down, and then there's another corridor that comes in right here that off of this corridor you have the music rooms, the auditorium, the cafeteria, and the art rooms. So you have this fine arts, you have a fine arts wing here with music, art, and auditorium. You have an athletic wing down here with your gyms. You have the cafeteria that's in between those two. So your public spaces are flanked by
The media center, library down below.
and the
there's only
media
one
center library is right here.
Yes. When I say nearly double the size of the cafeteria from what it was at Gateway Middle School.
Yeah, because right now, this area was your existing cafeteria and kitchen. The kitchen was here, and the cafeteria was here. Now your cafeteria is that whole space, and then there's a kitchen addition. So we've doubled the size of this cafeteria as well.
Want to continue around, Micah?
One thing we want to talk about is set a market, not in a bad way, but the roofing problem. Oh, Michael, go back. Clockwise, yeah, a little more, a little more. That's good, stop right there. Okay, one of the things we wanted to do with this job, because of supply chain problems, is get as much material on site as we can. Whenever it might be a long lead item, whenever it might be a challenge to get, have the contractors order it early, be able to store them on the site so they're not trying to pay for some storage area somewhere. So right along here, these are all rooftop units. We have some over here, some back in here. So they're scattered around the site. Those will go on the roof. Those are HVAC. That's your air conditioning and heating.
What's in the right field, Doug?
And that is the roofing material. Some of it anyway. You can see scattered, there's a few strange looking things on the roof. That is the PVC membrane that's going to be the roof membrane. They stocked that on the roof already. On the existing parts of the building, we're going to re-roof it, just like you would do if we had to re-roof this building. Occupied, no big deal. Take care of it. Material to do that is out here. What's not out there right now is the insulation that goes on the additions, and then this high density board, there's a cover board. It's like a sheathing that goes on top. Those materials are not available right now. The different companies that manufacture them are allocating them to the major roofers, so you get about half of what you need at one shot. So we don't have that material on hand, which means we don't expect it until possibly November.
Wow.
Which means we're really not able to do much of any roofing at all until November, Now we're gonna have to move twice as fast on the roofing as we would have otherwise. Getting a re-roofing on the existing renovated areas and then roofing the additions. That's gonna be a challenge.
Does that throw off our time frame, or was all that taken into consideration?
That bad of a lag was not taken into consideration. We expected problems, but that's almost a year and a half. About maybe a year. It was back in early part of 2021. I was expecting a year delay, a year lag in getting materials. Year and a half, no. So it's going to depend on their manpower. How many people, how many crews they can put on a shot. I'm sure that other jobs are going to be in the same situation and they're going to be screaming for people. So we're just going to scream a little louder. But that's where, to overcome problems like with Duquesne Light, with the roofing, what we had envisioned was the additions and the renovations kind of running concurrently, which would have chewed up a lot of guys, a lot of workers, working on those both areas at the same time. What we're doing is pushing the renovation area right now. The mechanical, electrical, and plumbing contractors are getting close to done with their roughing work. The ductwork is mostly done. Most of the sanitary and storm sewers are in place. A lot of the restrooms are framed, the walls are framed and roughed in with plumbing. So they're getting as far ahead as they can on electrical we've already talked about. So they're getting as far ahead as they can. So now what I'm going to do is push the drywall framing. There's bulkheads, like when I say a bulkhead, like what's up here at the edge of the ceiling. The few interior walls that we're having to frame in areas, doing all the work we can to push that. To get that work done to the point where we're hanging drywall, taping and finishing it, and painting walls, so that we can then take those guys and put them in the additions. Not having to find more men to do the job, more workers. Instead, try to get them shifted, finish up one set of tasks, and be ready to shift to the next. So that is where we're at right now. Any questions?
So I have one comment from a school board director's hat, and it's just one word: finally. I mean, I look at all the mess, everything's torn up, and tractors are moving back and forth, and things are getting piled up. How many years has it been that we've been trying to get this thing to move along, and there it is. Finally, we're in the heat of it. You know, we're fighting all the battles right now to get the materials, get all the work done, but that's good. It's a good battle, finally.
We have 2 summers, school summers, and 1 school year ahead of us to finish the project. We meet every week. We push the contractors. There's been a lot of discussions, and
They want to be pushed.
yes.
No, they don't.
So the general question that residents ask is, are we on schedule and are we on budget? That's what folks want to know.
We're on budget, even with the Frazo on the project. On schedule, at this point, it's hard to say. There are some things that have to come together. The roofing material, it has to get here. We have to get the roofing started.
Is that the, when you say the roofing?
We're a little behind where we'd hoped we'd be, but we're not so far behind that we can't
Yes.
still finish on time if everything goes as planned.
Like Dr. Short's assistants, Duquesne Light, we've contacted their senior management. So we've been pushing from the bottom up. He's been able to get their attention from the top down. Hopefully someone is getting squeezed in the middle.
You know, we actually, because in Pitcairn we have our own electric company, we've had lots and lots of dealings with Duquesne Light, actually forever. And we recently had a big project because we get a feed from Duquesne Light. So we have a couple of people that spend a lot of time talking to Duquesne Light personnel. Maybe I'll talk to them tomorrow and see if they know anyone who's
I think they can get someone's attention just because it seems like we've got a youngster as their engineer managing this particular project. I think he's just lacking in experience and who to talk to and who to push to get things done.
Now, is that reverse ageism? What was that?
Youngster, it's something what, there was a time when I was the youngster and I was talking to the
Yeah.
Superintendents and they were saying, yeah, back when I was doing this, I was in third grade. That's not happening anymore.
But I was asking, that roofing material existing on the roofs right now that has been dropped off?
That's the membrane, I think. he said.
Membrane?
This, no, these
Yes.
little pieces right here are new.
They're rolls.
Okay, all right.
These are rolls of PVC that are, instead of putting them on the ground and lifting them again, they put them.
Put them on the roofs, okay.
And we've already had a meeting with the roofer to figure out a game plan of exactly what roof to go from where to where. And in general, our approach for the renovations is start down at the bottom, the old science classrooms and the main gym, and work north. And so he's following that same program, but a little more specifically. There's a number of different areas, like area here, one here, this section here, gym. At the auditorium first, because there's a bit of a leak on it that's in the backstage. I want to get that taken care of. Then that floor gets refinished.
Terrazzo, you want to highlight that at all, or just,
We've got that change order out, and they came back with us and said there's a year of work, and I had talked to probably the largest terrazzo company in the region, Allegheny Installations, who know them from past jobs. And it should have been 6 or 7 months worth of work, so I'm working with the contractor to get that under control. If it doesn't work, then we're just gonna say, start working on it now.
Mhm.
The thing about terrazzo is you place the epoxy, then you polish, then you grind it, then you put another slurry on top and polish it. All else, we'll just get that epoxy poured, walk away so we don't mess up the finish. Go to the next area, work our way around the building, come back, then polish it.
Hank, anything else on your end?
No, that's it. We just talked about terrazzo. That's another slight glitch because it wasn't built into the schedule because we decided midstream to go to terrazzo. But we're working on it, and we're working it into the schedule. So it's a lot of moving parts. And right now, if things, like I said, if things go well, things will still finish on time.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
All right, any questions?
Oh, they didn't tell me about bathrooms.
They're gonna have them, I think. Right? Porta Johns.
That's all we have.
Is there a meeting on the 3rd? For some reason, I had a school board.
There's a budget
Budget.
meeting on the 3rd.
And then intergovernmental meeting after the budget. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I did talk to Mr. Brown, or emailed Bob about, my lawns.
Micah, is our things off?
We gotta have our grass cut.
Sorry, what thing?
Sorry.
A service.
Mike's off.
No, is the meeting done?
Okay.
Oh, you're done?
My lawn should never look
Okay, yeah, I'll stop it.
Thanks.
the same. That's true.